This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. From the launch your online shop stage, all the way to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. No matter what stage you're in, Shopify's there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/special offer.
Today on CityCast Boise. Our city's food scene is constantly growing and evolving, so we've put together your guide to the hottest restaurants in town. We're breaking down both the area's classic and newest eateries, so you know the best spots that you need to check out this summer. It's Monday, June 17th. I'm Lindsay Van Allen, and this is what Boise's talking about. Natalie Plummer, creator of Hello Meridian, is here with her must-try summer restaurant guide. Hey, Natalie.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Summer's kind of kicking my ass a little bit, but it's been good.
Excellent, excellent.
There's a lot going on.
There is. And so everybody's going to need a good spot to go and grab some dinner or relax in the evening after a hot summer day or a busy summer day. So before we get into your guide, what are you looking for in a summer restaurant? Like, what gives it that gotta try it now factor for your guide?
For summer specifically, I'm really looking for more of the experience. I do focus more on the patio kind of feel. There's something about summer that just feels like it's a little more special. I was looking for the whole experience in general. I probably wouldn't just think I'm going to get takeout at these places. If you know what I mean? It's like, this is where I want to go and spend some time.
Let's dive in with your first pick. And I want to know, like, what is your must-try summer restaurant in the Treasure Valley?
So we're all sad that Juniper closed on 8th Street, but it did not stay closed for very long because now Rustica has opened up. It is an Italian restaurant with French and Spanish notes.
Ooh.
It's opened up by the same owners, Samantha and Dan, who own Wild Root and Lawrence Gridiron. So it's right across from those two streets. So I went there last night for the first time, and we were freaking out, like audibly freaking out. And Italian's great.
Yeah. Oh, always.
But it was so unexpectedly, it was just decadent. And everybody, like, there was this ravioli. They're like, you should really try this ravioli. I'm like, okay. Ravioli is so often just like, you know exactly what it is.
Yes.
And this thing came out and it looked like a flatbread, and I was so confused. And it was basically this square of ravioli that hadn't been cut. So you're actually cutting it. And it was like tasting bursts of lemon mixed with strangely almost holiday spices. And like every bite, we're like, we don't even know what we're experiencing right now. It was so good. But at the same time, it was so accessible. It wasn't one of those restaurants that you're like, oh, it's so different that people are going to be like a little confused by it because they're expecting the comfort food. It was just like comfort food, so elevated, but just with these really interesting flavors. So that's one place that I think, just with the vibe of 8th Street just comes alive every summer. You just want to be down there.
I was so interested about them opening since I've heard about them opening, and now your review of it, that's top of my list now. I definitely want to go. Do you have any other like food or drink recommendations there?
Yeah. So specifically, okay, this is weird. So I walked in and I saw some friends, and they were like, well, they were all from California originally, and they all said, this is the best meal that we've had in Boise since we've lived here for like several years. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, well, what was it? And they said, you have to try the Caesar salad and chicken. I'm like, why? It just looks so boring. And then we get it, and it's like this lightly grilled romaine with this unbelievable sauce that I guess you could consider Caesar, but it was almost creamy. And then it came with this gently fried chicken that was just so full of spice. And I'm like, this is one of the best salads just in general I've ever had. That was absolutely incredible. Probably my favorite dish of the night, besides the salad, was the beef ragu. It was a braised beef with red wine pan sauce and mushrooms over polenta, and it just falls apart. It's so substantial. It's kind of a country type or a cottage type meal, but again, just coming from a totally unexpected place. I just loved it.
I think that sounds amazing. That sounds like really comfort food. And generally, you don't think about like comfort food and summer, but it sounds like they struck that perfect vibe.
hmm Also, I wanted to mention they have a happy hour.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
So they're doing like a friends and family happy hour. And I messaged them to find out the exact time, and I hadn't heard back yet. But every single day, it's 30% off small plates and drinks every day. And then they're doing that same happy hour on the late night menu on Thursday, Friday, Saturday from like 10 to midnight. And that's another thing I really like about them is that they are open till midnight, which before that you were pretty much going to Matador, but a lot of the restaurants just close at like 11.
Yeah.
I wish restaurants would stay open till 1. Like on the weekends. I don't know why more don't, but so their happy hour sounds like it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to say, so they're open late and you get the happy hour deals and you're on 8th Street. That's really, really perfect.
Right down the street, if you want to grab drinks before, Eight Horses Lounge has opened, which
Oh,
is a new lounge underneath Fork.
okay.
And so Fork was originally, was it the Bank of Idaho?
Uh-huh.
So if you go down, it is where the original vault was. So you actually, you can go right into this like 15-foot door of the vault. And the whole thing is just, it's a whole vibe.
That I would say that sounds awesome. Okay, so you've set up like the perfect summer evening.
Yeah.
So, what's the next restaurant in your summer guide?
I was thinking about for us when we can't decide where we want to go, where do we go? And it is always Bardenay in Eagle.
Classic.
It is. It's just classic because the patio is so great. It's right off the
Mhm.
Greenbelt. You can jump right off and then go enjoy the water. And I do not know a single person who does not like Bardenay.
Yeah.
So that's always just if you're not needing like the newest experience, but you're just like, I know I want to have a good time. Bardenay has fantastic salads. Their sandwiches are great. They have a full menu and price points really good. So I
Mhm.
haven't talked about Bardenay a lot just because again, it's like something you just think about a lot, but I think it's a good reminder that it's there and it's beautiful.
Absolutely. When you're going to Bardenay, what are you ordering? Food and or drinks?
So when I go to Bardenay, I usually will get the Bardenay Caesar or the char-broiled beef tenderloin salad. Both of those are really large. A lot of times I'll go with friends and we'll get the two salads and split them together.
Mhm.
They also have a great Mediterranean plate that you can kind of just pick off, and it's just so fresh. These are, I'm thinking, more of their summer items.
Yes, yeah.
And they have a random, like a good variety of satay, which is just, it's like not expected at Bardenay.
No, but it goes so well with their drinks.
Yeah, it does. So we'll go there for sometimes just that and some drinks.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up their portion sizes are excellent for sharing. So
hmm
you definitely feel like you're getting your money's worth. And then, yeah, like you said, that patio just off the river is gorgeous, gorgeous in the summer.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. From the launch your online shop stage, all the way to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. No matter what stage you're in, Shopify's there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/special offer.
Before we jump back into your guide, have you noticed any trends in restaurants opening around the area or any new restaurants that you thought were kind of unexpected?
I would say that first of all, unexpected trends, which is random, is fried chicken. Like
Yes.
there's so much fried chicken. So that's something I'm seeing. But in general, what I'm noticing is just this general elevation of food in general, that
Hmm.
we are starting to have options that people who have moved here for bigger cities are excited about. So I am noticing that there is an influx of restaurants that are just kind of filling that need. And it's just giving a little bit more exposure to people who maybe haven't had it before.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's been a lot of restaurants opening lately that are both very innovative and very thoughtful
Hmm.
in how they are presenting their food or their menus. And that has been just kind of a fun trend in Boise that I'm really enjoying as someone who likes to go out and eat.
Yeah. And that's actually the one I want to talk about next is one that really goes along with that. And that is Saltbrush in downtown Boise. Have you been to Saltbrush yet?
I have, yes. Yeah. I think I didn't know what to order food
Okay.
wise,
Hmm.
but the drinks were superb. And
Oh
actually
yeah.
I have a story about that one of my favorite bartenders in all of
I
Boise
know exactly who it is.
works at Caleb.
Is it Caleb?
It's Caleb.
I'm such a fan. When I saw him, I'm
Oh,
like, Caleb, what are you doing? I was so happy. Yes.
I did this. I totally fangirled. I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of Caleb. Caleb is a treasure of the Treasure Valley. That was so great to see him. Okay, so what did you order at Saltbrush?
Um, so it's on Grove Street. It's next door to Tavolata and right down from like the Basque Market. And we were talking to the owner, Neil. So there's Neil and Eric who own the
Hmm.
restaurant together. And Neil is from South Africa and Eric is from Boise. And Neil has like this huge knowledge of restaurants and wine. And so when I find out that the restaurateur has that kind of background, I really like to put it in his hands and like tell me what to eat. So Saltbrush is really based on focusing on the individual ingredient. You're going in to experience like the freshest, most seasonal ingredients in a very innovative and unexpected way.
Yeah.
So they had just brought in an order from Farmer's Stash, had just sent in asparagus,
Okay, the asparagus was the standout for me on that menu.
which is so funny. It's like you order the asparagus and that's the standout. Like
Yeah,
that sounds strange, but like why was it a standout for you?
I just thought however they cooked it, like the spears were all different sizes, which at restaurants that can be
Yes.
such a mess where some are
Hmm.
soggy, some are still like too stiff. But then the sauce they put on it was just so bright and
Hmm.
creamy and I want more of the sauce. Give me double the sauce
Yeah.
because I need to dip the entire spear of the asparagus in it. But it
Hmm.
was just like I don't know, it was asparagus that ate like a meal. And
Yeah,
I'm
it
not like
totally did.
vegetarian. But I was like, "Oh, I could just give me 3 plates of that and I'm good."
Yeah. It made me think that I was really messing up my asparagus at home too. Cause I'm like, oh, it can taste like this.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad cook, but like, and I loved it that the spears were different sizes because they tasted different. And so like I felt like I was having an experience of asparagus, which just sounds strange, but like I guess maybe I'm not a foodie because that sounds strange to say it, but uh I I went in feeling like, okay, I understand Idaho asparagus a little bit better. We got the fresh made pasta. And one thing that I like again is that it's so ingredient based that
Mhm.
the food is very simple. So like I love handmade pasta. I just think it's an art. But then it was just
Yeah.
made with like peas. It was like peas and cheese and homemade pasta. And I was like, this might be one of the best things I've ever tasted. Like it was wonderful. And I think the standout thing actually besides asparagus was the lamb. The lamb was beautiful. And lamb can be you can go either way for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was okay. I'm definitely gonna have to get the lamb next time then, or the pasta, because those sound great. Yeah, or we could just hit it up and get drinks from Caleb and plates of asparagus.
That would be fun.
Okay, so jumping back into the guide, what is the fourth restaurant that people definitely need to check out this summer?
Okay, so I bring this up. It's been around for a little bit, but sometimes I think people miss it. As I brought up, like fried chicken is quite the thing.
Hmm.
But I don't think enough people know about Hans Shemek. Have you been there?
No, I don't know about this.
Okay. So, it is a Korean fried chicken joint on Broadway. You drive
Hmm.
by and you're like, "What is this place?" It's very random, kind of looks like a little bit of a dive. Shemek actually means, fried chicken and beer. It is the tiniest menu you've ever seen. You have Korean fried chicken,
Mm-hmm.
lots of different sauces, and beer. That's it.
Okay.
They'll serve it with rice, and then oftentimes they have something called the creamy onion, which is basically that the fried chicken with like a creamier sauce, and then all over just with freshly sliced onions. And it is some of the best fried chicken I've ever had. But the thing with the Korean fried chicken is it's different than a normal American chicken. I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but it's like a thinner layer, but the chicken's able to stay super, super moist and flavorful and really crisp.
Oh, see, those are the two things you got to have for good
Yeah.
fried chicken.
Yeah. It's kind of like, wait, why are we not doing it like this all the time? But that is just such a fun place if you're just like, let me figure out something new, something local. And we love going there.
Yeah, that's a great recommendation. And it sounds like, yeah, the quintessential summer vibes, summer eating sometimes is just like, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it something we're
Mhm.
all going to love. And fried chicken and beer, it doesn't get more summer than that.
No.
Okay, so closing out the guide, Natalie, what is your last must try summer restaurant?
I think that the last one I would want to say is probably one that was the most anticipated of the year, and that is Coa de Mar.
Ooh, okay.
So have you tried Coa de Mar
I
yet?
haven't, but I'm interested to hear, does it live up to the hype?
Well, it's interesting because it depends on whose hype you're talking about, So
Hmm.
Kodemar is coming from the same people who do Kodehima and Barbacoa. And, all of a sudden it's an eagle.
Hmm.
It's got a very similar vibe to Barbacoa in that it's on this like large pond. So you have this beautiful patio overlooking the water. But then there's a lot of people who are like, that's not their thing because it is so over the top in so
Yeah.
many ways. I mean, this is excess on the kind of sexy vibe. They have this blown glass chandelier that takes up like half the restaurant. It's incredible. But if you've been to Barbacoa, it's that larger than life kind of feel.
Yeah, part of what you're going is the decor and kind of
Mhm.
that really interesting, unusual vibe.
And then the food comes into that. So when you're presented with the food, it really is that kind of experience. The food is absolutely beautifully plated, and they have some of the same things that they have at Barbacoa with their like tomahawk steak, and then they have the hot rock steak.
Okay.
But the presentation for this level of seafood, it is absolutely beautiful. Personally, I thought it was wonderful. I thought all my seafood was so fresh. It was wonderfully presented, and it's a huge menu, like absolutely huge. And sometimes that's a little overwhelming for me personally, but then a lot of people love that. So
Yeah.
you could go back there a million. I mean, you could order something new every time.
So what were you ordering? What's maybe been your top pick food and drink?
Okay, so we got Manhattans, and what was really cool was that the glasses were actually ice. So have you
Oh,
seen that?
wow. Yes. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, so that was really cool. So the ice is actually inside another glass of some sort. And then so that was really cool. And we thought the Manhattans were fantastic. And they had some local wine on the menu, which we did pick for that. We ordered the like seafood, I think it was the seafood tower. So you're gonna have like
Okay.
your shrimp and your crab and your oysters and clams and all that. It's pretty expensive, obviously, for what you're getting. But what we
Yeah.
wanted to just how fresh was the seafood? And I'm from Washington, so I'm used to really, really fresh seafood, and we were impressed with that. We thought it was great. We got a lightly seared ahi tuna, which it was good. I think there was something about it that wasn't like my absolute favorite. I think they put it with like a purple sweet potato, which I didn't love that combination, but I mean I liked them all separately. It was
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. We also got because you have the guacamole.
Is it tableside still?
Yeah,
The
it's
tableside
tableside,
present?
so
Yeah,
you have
of
to do that.
course.
And we were out on the patio, and it was like, of course, we're on the patio, we're gonna get the guacamole on the side, and so that was really fun. We got the calamari, I would say the calamari was probably 10 times larger than we were expecting. So that's like a table.
Okay, so that's a share.
That's a share share thing, but it was great. We loved the calamari. That was really good. And actually, we did get dessert because why?
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, if you're in excess, you've got to
Yeah,
have dessert.
I know that's what's crazy because it's like when you go to Costco and money doesn't count anymore.
Yeah.
Like and that's what it kind of feels like. They were like, oh well, the food's hanging off of things. Like it's all magic. And then the bill comes. You're like, yeah, okay.
The
But
cost
it was
of magic.
Yeah, it was magic. So, and it was, and the staff is fantastic. Those, so you just get really into it. But we got the desserts and we got a creme brulee. The creme brulee was wonderful. I mean, creme brulee is always wonderful, but this had more of like a tropical feel. So it was really good. But the thing that was so good is they're like, you've got to get the coffee and donuts. I'm like, ugh, coffee and donuts, whatever.
Yeah.
But they were actually amazing. It was wonderful coffee. And the whole time I was thinking, oh, I would just come back for this. I don't know how they feel about just going into the patio to order coffee and donuts, but with that view, I don't think they open for lunch. I think they open it just at 4, but that was such a fun way to end the meal. And we were so full that I didn't think we'd enjoy it, but it was it was all magic. So yeah.
Maybe if you go and order enough coffee and donuts, like here, we're just here for the coffee. We're just here to get a lot.
Yeah. Or that and like a lot of drinks. Well, like we're going to, we'll do that and we'll finish off with the coffee. But
yeah.
So, and the way that they place it, like it's so interesting to be an Eagle and feel like you're in a totally new place. And they really did. They were very successful with that.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I haven't been there, but I definitely do want to try it out. So it's definitely on my summer list. Are there any honorable mention restaurants that people should also make sure to check out this summer?
So I would say one thing, I wouldn't say this is necessarily the most summer thing because it's actually kind of a cozy experience, but it is brand new. But Umi Hot Pot has arrived in Meridian. It just opened a couple weeks ago. We had never done it as a family, so we went in to do the hot pot experience. And, you order your broth and then you go to the buffet and it's got all this fresh seafood and all these things that I had no idea what any of it was. And you just tried it. And it, that it's so fun for me personally. I don't know if everyone's into it, but just to go in and when you come out, you've learned something completely new about a culture and about yourself. Like there's things that I'm like, oh, I thought I'd be okay with this and I was not okay with this. But like having the opportunity to learn that and doing that like in Meridian, Idaho.
I was going to say, yeah, that's not usually the Meridian experience. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And it was absolutely full when we got there. And I realized also like looking around, there were a lot of people who understood hot pot like very well. Like I could see like people were not like, we were coming in. Well, there's like, quite a few people who are like, oh, this is interesting. What do we do? And then we'd have these tables full of people who were like, they clearly knew how to hot pot well. And I was like slowly walking through and kind of seeing what everybody was eating. And I was like, oh, wow. They're like, it was an interesting, like artistic experience.
Okay. So there's a process and an art to it.
Well, yeah, because it's like you start with your vegetables. And then you slowly put in the meat, take out the meat individually, dip it in the sauces. But then I'd go in and it was like, they'd have these massive plates of these like vegetables I didn't recognize like at all, but they had gotten massive plates for the whole table. So then everybody was picking off of these same things. Or some people had so many quail eggs. I was like, why do you have so many quail eggs? Like it was just very interesting. And mine was pretty boring because I was like, I'm going to just try some basic, like it was meat and ramen and a few interesting things. But I did try a good handful of things that I had never tried before. And I learned some things, even if I didn't love them, I learned some things.
Yeah, you got to try them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Natalie. I think you had so many really amazing and interesting suggestions for the summer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. And we'll hit Caleb up.
That's all for today here on CityCast Boise. If you enjoyed the show, tell a friend about us. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more great local stories. See you then.